How soon is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to, you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game.
Will Tank Davis make the necessary adjustments to defeat Lamont Roach in the rematch? Or is this a case of a fighter having another fighter's number? We can go back in the history of boxing.
This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis.
Stephen A. Smith is urging Gervonta Davis to retire now, warning him about the dangers of taking on Lamont Roach in a rematch. Even though Davis has talked about retiring before, he hasn't made it official. Smith thinks now is the right time, stressing that Davis should focus on his health and protect his legacy.
You only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big fights out there for you to get?
It's close for sure. It just I don't know, it's a little draining. I just want to step back for a little bit and just focus on me personally. You know, I feel like I've been doing this for some time now, and I just want to give myself a break and focus on just me as a human being, me as a father, me as a son, and things like that, and that nature.
Stephen A. Smith noted that Gervonta Davis is pushing for this rematch to prove a point and quiet the critics after their first fight. While Davis still has other paths he could take before retiring, his decision to face Lamont Roach again shows how committed he is to defending his legacy. Davis is clearly focused on erasing any doubts from their last matchup and is determined to settle things once and for all in the ring.
Undefeated who gets in a fight like that finds himself with a majority draw with people questioning whether or not he legitimately won. It's usually the promoters and the audience that's calling for a rematch. Gervonta Davis, who had been alluding to retirement, immediately said, let's do it again. Let's get it going. No problem at all. I give him credit for that. Because guess what? I wanted to see Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. I wanted to see him against Tali Lomachenko. I wanted to see him against Ryan Garcia in a rematch. I wanted to see him against Teofimo Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, none of them deserved a shot ahead of a rematch for Lamont Roach. None of them. And check out Lamont Roach's tweets. I don't know. He said, F you mean pushing my contract already signed and set for the immediate rematch because you put that in there just in case you lost. Only reason we don't fight is because you scared. Gervonta Davis comes back 2 hours later and say no more. I'm pushing for the rematch. This is what we love when it comes to boxing. This is what we love to see.
The upcoming rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has sparked huge excitement among boxing fans around the world. Expected to take place in August, the fight is already being seen as one of the most anticipated events of the year. Their first clash left fans wanting more, and now everyone's eager to see what happens when they meet again. Social media, sports shows, and fan forums are buzzing with predictions, heated debates, and non-stop discussion, making this rematch a must-watch event.
What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. We got a date that Tank Davis and Lamont Roach will be fighting on. We don't have a venue, we don't have a location, but I do have a date. The fight is now being penciled in to take place on August 16th. So as we know, the original date was supposed to be July the 19th. I think the day before that, man, that's not even the original date. That's probably the second to the original date. I think the original date actually was supposed to be maybe in May, but then it got pushed back to, I don't know, man. Whatever the case is, man, this fight has been rumored to take place on 2 previous dates, but now it's being penciled in to take place on August 16th. It's going down in the summer of 2025. Tank Davis will be looking to get the win over Lamont Roach. Unlike the first fight, which I thought he lost.
Stephen A. Smith, known for his direct and sharp sports opinions, didn't hold back when talking about Lamont Roach's performance in the first fight. He praised Roach for staying calm and focused from start to finish. Smith pointed out that Roach achieved something no one had done before, making Gervonta Davis take a knee. That moment, he said, changed how people see Roach. Smith emphasized how impressive it was to watch a fighter, once underestimated, step up with confidence and make such a bold statement against a powerhouse like Tank.
What I didn't know is that once Lamont Roach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Walked right to him and stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punches, left hook, straight right. This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout artist.
Roy Jones Jr., one of boxing's sharpest minds, shared his thoughts on Lamont Roach's growth in the sport. He made it clear that Roach has always had the talent. It's just that not enough people were paying attention. Jones, who's followed Roach for years, said his performance against Gervonta Davis was simply proof of what he already knew. Roach belongs at the top. He warned anyone who thinks Roach's success was a one-time thing, pointing to his technical ability, timing, and high fight IQ as signs that he's truly world-class. His fight against Tank only backed that up.
Great, formidable opponent. Tomorrow, Tank gonna test his tank and see how good he is in the late round.
Presumably, Tank is supposed to, win this fight. This is a fight that there's not a lot of doubt about him coming out victorious in. So the talk shifts, and we got to know, Roy, from your perspective, Tank Shakur, when you think about that fight being a potential fight this year, how do you see it going?
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You gotta understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not gonna talk about none of that till we get by Roach, because what I'm telling you about the other stuff don't really mean nothing right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this did happen.
I'm feeling good always. How you doing?
I'm always good. You're a special fighter. Tank's a special fighter. What do you like about him? What makes him different?
I like that when Tank come to fight, Tank come to knock you out. Tank don't come to just beat you by decision. He come to take you out. He come to try to get the job done best way he can. And he loves to come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. And that's what life's supposed to be about.
Observers have noticed Gervonta Davis using psychological tactics ahead of the rematch. From vague social media posts to sly comments and interviews, Tank seems to be playing mind games to gain an advantage before fight night. Fans and analysts believe these moves are aimed at throwing off Roach's focus and confidence.
Lamont is signed and ready to go for the rematch, correct?
Yeah, we signed, sealed, and delivered.
Y'all, Tank plays so many head games, it's not even funny. Let me tell you something, bro. Lamont Roach has never been this big of a fighter before. Everyone knows Lamont Roach now. So he could be reaping the benefits of just enjoying his status of having that draw with Tank, while Tank is the one with the eye of the tiger. Tank is probably in the gym training his ass off. And then sign the contract, like, all right, we got to fight when? June. Oh, shit! Let's hurry up and dash your ass. Sugar Ray Leonard did that to Roberto Duran. Duran was told that he had a fight in a couple weeks. And he was like, dude, I'm 190 pounds in Panama. Which is why Roberto Duran was out of shape in the No Mas fight and was like, no mas. So Tank could be over there working, sign the contract in 3 weeks. And all of a sudden, Lamont Roach got to put a training camp together.
Ahead of the rematch, Gervonta Davis has shaken things up by bringing a new trainer into his corner. The move has sparked buzz among fans, with many wondering if he's aiming to reshape his strategy or fix issues from their last fight. The new coach brings fresh insight and is expected to work on sharpening Davis's defense, timing, and pacing, areas that drew criticism in the first bout. This change shows that Davis is fully locked in and ready to adjust where Roach may have had the upper hand.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Tevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or is he adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
Coach Bernie gave a blunt take on Davis's performance, calling him out for lacking the drive and intensity that Lamont Roach brought to the ring. He said Davis looked more focused on making it through the rounds than taking control of the fight. Meanwhile, Roach fought with urgency, treating each round like it mattered. Bernie stressed that a champion at Tank's level should have delivered a performance that made a statement, but instead, he left fans wondering if the fire that once fueled him is still there.
Documentary, you know, but he did good, Lamont Roach. But only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more, he might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight, it feel good to hear everybody say that, but when you go watch the fight and you realize, I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like, and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't
good. So, you know, you talked about the takeaways of you know, how Lamont could be better in the rematch. And you're the second person that alluded to that. Tell me, what do you see in Lamont in the rematch that he could be more successful? And not and also Tank, like, you know, also, you know, he added Barry you know, into the lead position. I don't know if do you feel like if that had anything to do with the directioning of it? Because we did hear in the post press conference too, Tank saying that he could have pushed the gas more. He should have, he said. So what's your take on that?
Exactly. He's the champion. He got to defend his title. He like I said, they both was looking at each other. And then finally, after Tank will be the one to throw the first punch. He felt like he wanted to retain his title. Lamont Roach felt like he was just happy to be there and get the success.
Lamont Roach is heading into the rematch more driven than ever. He feels the first fight didn't provide a clear outcome and that many fans and critics still question his abilities. This time, Roach says he's aiming to remove all doubt. His training camp is set to be intense, with a strong focus on conditioning and sharpening his strategy. Fully aware of what's on the line, Roach is determined to end the debate and make a statement that no one can ignore.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound for pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Rapper and boxing fan Sauce Walka didn't hold back in sharing his opinion. He firmly believes Lamont Roach won the first fight. He praised Roach's execution, movement, and control in the ring, saying they were clearly better than Tank's. According to Sauce Walka, true boxing fans who really study the sport could see Roach's dominance, even if the judges didn't. He sees the rematch as Tank's opportunity to show he still belongs at the top, because in his eyes, Roach already proved he was the better boxer that night.
Do you think that they should have counted that point against him? Do you think Lamont Roach won, or do you think it wasn't enough?
It could be considered a rightful draw, but I also lean towards that Lamont Roach won that fight. I believe he won the fight simply because he outclassed the champ. In boxing, you have to do two things to beat the champ. You either got to knock out the champ or completely outclass the champ. But you have to beat the champ. You're not going to just get the win because you survived or you put up a good fight. Bro lost that fight.
Facts.
Like when you really, really know boxing and know boxing for what it really, really is, Tank lost that fight. No matter how much people emotions and feelings are attached to it because Tank is a hero of the hood. The ghetto love the Tank. Gervonta Davis has been crowned king. My personal opinion, I don't think he should take the rematch, and I think he's already done what you just said. I think off of what he's already accomplished with the draw, he's already in a life-changing situation to where he could change every person around his life forever. He's now what's called a prize fighter, guaranteed. He's now what's also called a A-side fighter right now. But if he does what I like to call the Deontay Wilder and chase the legacy of getting the win, because you thinking from more of 100% on the boxing aspect than the business aspect, which Gervonta Davis has clearly showed everybody, the larger amount of his success is from the business module of the way he does boxing that was being gifted to him through Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions and PBC. But at the end of the day, so and what? That's what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at Gervonta Davis for that.
Jeff Mayweather gave a thorough and honest breakdown of the first fight. Even though he's been a longtime supporter of Tank, he was surprised by how much Davis struggled. Jeff pointed out that Roach stayed busier, throwing and landing more punches while keeping a steady pace throughout the fight. While Davis had some good moments, Jeff admitted that Roach may have won by outworking him. His take added weight to the ongoing debate about who truly won the first match.
First decision I think I might have ever seen. I don't know how that's not a knockdown. But anyway, thoughts on the overall fight first, Jeff?
I think that it was a good fight on both sides, and I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he outworked Tank. Thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him like he always do and then go to work. But this time when he went to work, the guy went to work back. So, I mean, he had somebody that was firing back at him. It's the same way.
Yeah. I think the commentators and most of us at home thought, kind of the same thing. You thought Roach would bank some of those early rounds to prepare for the onslaught later. And when it didn't really happen, it was pretty even. We said, well, this is going to be a one-sided fight. But yeah, it never happened. And Roach, through the latter half of the fight, actually seemed to do better than the first half.
I thought he did good pretty much all the way through the fight. I mean, there was a few rounds where he didn't do that well, but I mean, I thought he won the fight clearly. I mean, I didn't see Gervonta really the Gervonta that I know. I mean, I'm a big Gervonta fan, but I didn't see none of the Gervonta that I'm used to seeing.
Why do you think that is? Roach was pretty lightly valued coming into the fight, moving up a weight class. It's not somebody that they expected to give him a huge challenge. What do you think it was that Roach presented to Tank that made it so difficult for him?
The one thing is that he fought at the right distance, and he let his hands go, and that's the most important part. That's how you win a fight, by letting your hands go. I mean, Gervonta was sitting back, waiting like he normally does, and then all of a sudden he finishes them. He always finishes opponents, but this time it didn't happen.
Stephen A. Smith, known for owning up when he's wrong, admitted he misjudged Lamont Roach. At first, he doubted Roach because of his smaller size, thinking Tank would overpower him. But the fight told a different story. Roach fought with fierce determination, absorbing Davis's punches and responding with even more aggression. By the third round, Smith said it was clear Roach wasn't just holding his own. He was often controlling the fight. That night, Roach earned everyone's respect. Shakur Stevenson added a technical perspective, breaking down Roach's strategy like someone who's actually fought him. He praised Roach's sharp game plan, and especially his defense. Having sparred with Roach before, Stevenson knew he had the skills to win, which is why he backed him. While Tank's speed and power are impressive, Stevenson pointed out that Roach's timing and footwork neutralized much of Tank's edge, making the fight much closer than expected.
I think, considering you were one of the handful of people to pick Lamont Roach, giving him a tough fight, what do you see?
I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left, so he better be on his A game.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight, and I knew his style with Tank style, what he was gonna be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been in all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's gonna be the same fighter throughout his career. So
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned and see you next time.